Hey everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. I only had one video last week, some comic books. I got really sick after that. I mentioned I had a cold, and by that night, wow, it really hit me hard. I've got a little coffee here. I still have a little bit of a just a leftover cough. I'm feeling pretty good, but I'll have to take a sip every now and then, keep me from coughing. So I apologize. And man, I haven't been that sick since probably the kids were in junior high or elementary school and brought something home. It really hit me hard. I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. It's balmy 60 degrees today, right now. Let's see, what is it? March 3rd, 2025, and then tonight light rain and snow because it's Iowa, and then tomorrow night we have a blizzard blizzard watch, winter storm watch going for Tuesday night into Wednesday. So hey, if you're from the upper Midwest, this is just par from the course, and if you're not, it's not boring weather-wise. I wish it was a little more sometimes. Anyway, this isn't necessarily directly off that list I got from Corey for podcasts. It partially is, partially isn't. Just been seeing a lot of rhetoric, forums, YouTube, whatever you want to call it. All these people mad at eBay, leaving eBay, mainly sellers, because that's obviously kind of primary interest to me. Haven't been a seller since 1997 on eBay, so I just wanted to kind of show you, and I'll let you make up your own mind. But this is a real example. So about a half an hour ago, I listed a bunch of these toy review magazines, and this is number 133. Sorry for the glare. If you check my eBay store, it's not likely to sell anytime soon. So, even if you're seeing this a month or two later, maybe even after that, it's probably still going to be there. That's one of the reasons I picked it. So it's Toy Review Magazine 133. It's from 2003. It's got a Lord of the Rings Dark Rider, which it's one of the better covers. It's not the best. Usually G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, all those fun things sell a little bit better on it. So that's the magazine. I wanted you to see it. I just listed it. It's in my eBay store. I didn't write the item number because you can find it. It's not that hard. There's not that many of them out there. And here's the reason why. So I want to just preface this before I do this. These magazines, I got probably a little over 200 of them with that giant toy collection going on 4 years, 3.5 years ago. And I'm just now finally getting to the tail end of putting them on because they are not a high priority. In fact, if anything was damaged, torn up, ripped cover, bad shape, I got to be honest, I threw it right in the recycle bin. And this listing on eBay of these magazines, and I didn't do a lot last week, I was sick, but probably in the last couple weeks, probably listed close to 100 magazines, and pretty much done now. I think I've got one little batch of 8 toy fairs left till, I don't know, I might do them after this just to get them out of my hair. But this is the last ditch alternative to do something other than just throwing them in the recycling bin. If they don't sell, I've got a store, I've got plenty of listings so they can sit there a long time. But if they're still here kind of pushing the end of the year after Christmas kind of thing, I'm probably going to pull them all down and throw them right behind me here is my garage, and then on the other side of that is my recycling bin, and that's probably where they're going to end up. If I sell 10 to 15% of the, say, 200 magazines I've got on there, that's it. They're very slow sellers. So why do you list them? Well, I hate to throw stuff away. And I want to emphasize that I have essentially zero cost. They came along for the ride, so I had this big collection. He asked me if I wanted them, the guy I bought them from. Hey, Bill, if you're watching, it's you. And I said, I'm not going to pay extra. Otherwise, they're going to get, I wasn't really that interested, and that was, 3.5 years ago or so. And here's why. It's a very slow time. I haven't got a lot of collections in to resell. I got a few of the Star Wars pieces. I have a show coming up in East Moline, the QC Toy Show on Saturday and Sunday. Like I said, today's the 3rd, so I was at the 8th, 9th. So I'm going to take some down there because those bigger pieces, the AT-AT, ATST, I don't like to ship those if I can avoid it. So I'm going to take those there first. And then I've got the QuadCon here in Des Moines at the end of March, 29th and 30th, I believe, at the Merle Mall. I'm going to take them to those two, and then kind of whatever's left over that, probably going to end up online, to be honest with you. It's getting expensive to go to shows, do the hotel thing. That's a whole nother video I'm going to make somewhere fairly soon. So toy review 133. Oh, sorry. Told you I'm no good at this. $25. That's what I've got it listed at right now. So we're going to assume that I sell it for $25 to start. Okay, full price. Oh, got a cough coming on. Okay, now, final value fee is $3.75. And somebody out there is going to say, no, it's only 12.7, right? No, it's not. Not for books and magazines. So if you sell these in the books and magazines category, it's 15%, which isn't a big difference, but it's a difference. 10% promoted. Got to be honest, guys, I promote everything. Not everything is 10%, though. So this is a nice round number. It's probably going to be between, I don't promote over 10%. So it might be 7, 8, 9, might not be quite 10, but this was an easy number. So knock 50 cents off, if it wasn't quite 10%, that's the difference. 1875, and that's not the net yet, but that sounds pretty good, right? 1875 on a $25 sale, but you can't stop there. So this is a free ship item, and I don't free ship a lot of stuff, and here's why. I cannot send these media mail. Well, not legally and ethically. I know people do it. And that's fine. That's up to you. I'm not doing that. I don't do that. It's not worth it to me. But it's $7.96 to send that magazine, say, to the East or West Coast. And you kind of, if you're free shipping it, you got to figure it's going about as far as it can go reasonably, right? Because if I put like $5 shipping, it ain't going there. It's like $5.79 if it's within my region here, if from Central Iowa, whatever postal region that is. So best case scenario, it's costing me only $6 instead of $8, but it's probably going to be $8. That leaves $10.75. Not a winner there. Now below that, here's what the reality is, not the YouTube math or the YouTube version. This is the street level version, where that probably is not going to sell for $25. In fact, the odds of that selling for full price are very low. I'd say there's 80 to 85% chance I'm going to have to offer a $5 discount, which is 20% in this case, just to get somebody to pull the trigger on it with free shipping. So if I offer that 20% discount, $5, now I'm down to, holy cow, $5.75. Now below that I have a question mark. Well, it's supposed to be a question mark. My handwriting's total crap. I get it. That says COGS. That's cost of goods sold. So that's what I paid for this magazine. Now I do have some storage and transportation, but it really just came along for the ride on this massive collection. So in my case, I'm probably legit, making that $5.75 at this point. But what do you pay for this? So you have something that you sold for $20, okay? On eBay, if you paid $5 for that magazine, you made 75 cents. All right, and okay, totally not worth it. Excuse me, that one snuck up on me there. You made 75 cents if you paid $5. If you paid $1, you didn't even make $5. So if you paid $1 for this magazine, you take $1 off that, you're at $4.75, right? I don't know what eggs are where you're at. They're $6 a dozen where I'm at, and I'm betting we have one of the lower prices in the nation. So you're talking, basically, I got this magazine for free, okay? Now my costs weren't free because I had my time into it. I bought a bag and a board, which if you bag and board your magazines, you got to figure you're probably right at 80 cents. and I did not include that in here. So you can easily knock off 80 cents for the bag and the board. And you know, I'm not even, if I figure that in, I'm not even at $5 this way. You know, I'm just under $5 with figuring zero cost into it. Uh, and you know, for years, and I'm talking years, you know, your bread and butter on eBay uh, was kind of in that $15 to $25 sales range per item. And now at this point, you know, and I get it. So, you know, if I sell 1,000 of these, sure, that adds up, right? Problem is I only have maybe 200. And the other problem is it's so esoteric and specific. Um, you know, what am I going to sell those 200? 20, 30 issues if I'm really lucky of that whole batch, and the rest are going to the recycling bin. And this is why you're seeing on eBay this massive, I guess what you call concentration in say clothing, because you know fast fashion, you don't have to get a big profit margin on that, because you can sell, you know, not 10, not 20, not dozens, not hundreds. You can sell thousands of the same item and make a buck or two. Maybe not even that if you move enough stuff. Now, whether that's going to continue with the de minimis situation, I'll probably do another podcast on that. But the de minimis is where you can send a package basically overseas from China if it's under $800 in value. You don't have to clear customs, so you get around all the customs taxes and things like that. And so there's shipping literally hundreds of thousands of packages every single day. Not a week, not a month. Every single day are showing up from China because they sell all this fast fashion and other, let's just face it, low quality knickknacks and items, and they don't care because if they have to send you 500, 700 packages for your order, that's better than sending one package and having to declare customs, and that takes extra time, and then somebody's got to pay the tax on it to clear customs. There's going to be a fee, possibly. It sure sounds like that's the way things are going. And you can do it with trading cards, kind of the same deal. They're not coming from China, but you're talking huge quantities out there. The problem I see in a lot of the trading cards, and comic books would be the same way, back issue comics, is if demand falls even a little bit, boy, your volume takes a hit. You're not doing well, right? You know, a 10% drop in volume of the trading card market or the comic book back issues, postcards, really doesn't matter. Anything where there's a lot of items and a lot of low cost stuff, you know, no margin stuff. You're really skating on thin ice. The clothing folks, I don't think have this. That's pretty ingrained in our culture. So the only thing that's going to stop that is going to be the tariffs, the de minimis, trade wars, something along those lines. That's probably the only thing that's really going to mess that up. So I think that's always going to be a really popular market. Luxury items, which generally have a higher markup, but a much smaller market. So again, when the market drops, things slow up. So what do you have to sell something for to make money on eBay? So being a niche seller, you know, $25 is not getting me a lot of money, right? I got to sell a lot of $25 items and take my $4.75 or my $5, let's say. Holy cow! You know, I move 3,000 items at $5 a piece. That's not a lot, guys. Do the math on that. What is that? 15 grand? Not great. Not great. So you have to move a very high volume of stuff to make that stuff really pay off. And with all the fees, and this isn't actually all the fees, and I'll have another video on that because they now have off-sited promoted listings, which is another fee if you do that, and that's in addition to your promoted, which is within eBay, the eBay ecosystem there. So if you're doing promoted, and then you still got to discount it, even 10%, let's say, there's just not enough left. And right now, I've said this before, I think eBay is at the point where they've really tapped out the sellers' wallets, pocketbooks. I mean, it's really hard to come in as a seller and do this day to day, go through the grind, deal with the poor customer service, deal with limited sales. Now have been, they weren't great last year, and boy, they're even worse this year. So I was $28,000 less sales in 2024, and this compared to 2023. And I would say compared to 2023 again, so comparing this year to 2023, which was what I would consider my last, I guess, good year, average year, really. I'm probably looking at least another drop of $25,000 right now, the way this year is starting out. So it's going to be a $25,000 drop at the end of 2025 from 2024, which is almost a $60,000 drop since 2023. And that's actually in the grand scheme of things, that's very fast for a huge drop off. That doesn't usually happen quite that quickly. Usually there's some plateaus, or there's something. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't usually have that downhill slide. And of course, they're still talking about the stock market tanking sometime fairly soon. They're talking about trade wars. We've got a lot of the the whole world not really best buddies with too many people right now. And no matter which side of the fence you're on, it doesn't matter, because it does affect you at the ground level. Your price of eggs, your price of milk, your fuel, whatever it is. And if you're a business owner, large or small, these numbers get really scary really fast. And so that's why you're seeing, I think, a lot of smaller eBay sellers cutting bait. And I can't blame them. I've been doing this a long time. I've never relied solely, 100% on eBay sales. I would like to. I would absolutely like to, because it would be easier on me physically than setting up at all these shows and carting and lugging heavy stuff around and losing a bunch of weekends and stuff like that. And I think shows are next. I really will be curious. My last year, my shows were not very good, but it was mainly due, I think, to a lot of weather situations, flooding, tornadoes. We got hit pretty hard where I do, about a third of my shows. And so those, they didn't do very well. When your house is floating down the stream, nobody's going to show up and buy my junk at a flea market, and they really shouldn't do that. And they didn't, and that's okay. Now, whether, that's always in the mix. It'd be real unusual if that happened 2 years in a row as far as the weather goes. But if the shows start tanking, you're going to see some changes with the resellers and the sellers all the way around. My show this coming weekend, I don't have anything fancy hotel, but when you go set up these convention centers, there's not a lot of discount hotels around. And if they are, you probably don't want to stay there. You know what I'm saying? But you're talking probably $120 to $150 a night. And I would say that's a minimum. I'm going to have 2 nights, so let's just say $300, not including your meals, not including fuel. But just to set up at a small show with the booth cost, fuel cost, food cost, hotel cost, is probably going to be somewhere in that $900 to $1,000 range cost out of pocket. And, that really doesn't sound that bad, but if I go from, say, $5,000 in sales at a show to $2,500 in sales at a show, because I have cost of goods sold. I didn't mention that, but I have the cost in the inventory that I'm selling too. So, you know what? That's going to affect the people that are willing to drive around and do this. And I guess 10 years ago, if you didn't want to do shows, you're like, well, we'll cut back on the shows, we'll put more on eBay, and you kind of balance things out. I don't know if that's a big option right now for a lot of dealers. I mean, they can do it. It's an option that way. I just don't know if it's going to pay off for them because of the cost structure I just mentioned. Remember, that's just one small magazine. I don't know how sellers do this, and I'm not talking the fast fashion guys. I get that. I get the volume. But I see so much stuff in collectibles. $5, $6, $7, $8 free ship. And I get it. I've bought some things, and, a lot of times they come media mail, and they shouldn't come media mail. But you're still probably talking $5 to ship, a comic, and probably a little more than that to ship a magazine media mail. And I would have to think, just the way the post office changes are going, if they do privatize it, I can guarantee you they're going to crack on that. Anybody that's shipped UPS or FedEx, if you're a ½ inch off in your box dimensions, they will send you a happygram and they will charge you. They will upcharge you because you were a ½ inch over and it bumps up to the next full inch or size or whatever. And I guarantee you, well, first of all, I don't think media mail is going to exist if it gets privatized. I think I've been shipping Ground Advantage because actually I just shipped a DVD. I'm trying to think, Colorado, I think it was. And it came up as Ground Advantage, so I do offer free shipping on the DVDs. I just want to get rid of them at this point. And I was like, well, no, I'm not paying, whatever, $5.47 for Ground Advantage, right? So I went down, I unclicked the box and went down to media mail, and it was $5.54. So the Ground Advantage was, a nickel, 6 cents, whatever it was, cheaper than the media mail. So I'm telling you right there, I think media mail days are numbered. I don't know when that happened. I assume with the latest price update. I don't sell a lot of DVDs anymore, so I guess I've been out of loop. I didn't pay a ton of attention. I am now, obviously, so that's something you might check on if you're moving that type of material. But again, how much do you really make? If I sold that DVD for $25, the cost structure is a little cheaper. I think it's I want to say 8% final value fees for DVDs, something in that area, maybe 9% now. But again, you're talking 40, 50, 60 cents difference on that. So it's not like it's gonna really all of a sudden flood your bank account at those percentages. So I don't know. This is something I just wanted to show you guys. You can, leave me your comments. I've had really good feedback on a lot of these podcasts. Everybody's been actually pretty nice. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to irritate anybody or make a statement really, but I just did want to show everybody out there kind of what the sellers, the resellers, are dealing with, and I think it's really in danger. I think it's really in trouble, because if you're talking selling items for $20 or even $25, and you end up making profit wise on a $25 sale, you're making 20%, which is $5. So $5 to 25 is 20%. I don't see it working. I do not see it working. Now, what's the solution? I have no idea. I got to tell you right now, everybody's really upset with eBay and the fees, and I really can't dispute that. But you know, when you were looking at this, let's see, I don't know if I still have it here. But you know, here's after eBay fees, just to put in perspective, 1875. But then you take that $8 out for the shipping, and ow, okay, all of a sudden that's a huge chunk. So just the shipping cost, it's not just eBay stuff. You know, the shipping has launched. I don't know, man. I don't want to use the word price gouging, but I got to tell you, when shipping's gone up, what, 40% in the last 18 to 24 months, I don't know, something's not working right. You know, I don't know. So between the shipping and the eBay fees, I could really see this market changing to the point where, you know, local pickup. You know, way back when this started, so here's how old I am. You had these, I don't know what you want to call it, online consignment stores, and you could pick them up there. It was a brick and mortar place, and, you know, they charged a percentage. I think it was usually 30%, 20 to 30%. I think it was 30%. Anyway, I could see that. I don't know. See, brick and mortar to me is too expensive, too much overhead and employees. But some way, shape, and form, I think it's going to morph where a lot of this stuff on eBay is going to move to Facebook Marketplace, and it already is, and it's going to be local pickup. Just because the shipping cost is ridiculous. And part of that shipping cost, that was just postage. So that's not total shipping cost. The envelope, so if I send it an envelope, it's like 70 cents. It used to be 37 cents. I'm not talking about the postage stamp. I'm talking the actual cost of the photo mailer. Usually the cardboard is scrap cardboard I cut up, so usually not an extra cost there. You know, a little bit of tape on it, nickel maybe, I don't know. But you're talking the cost of materials, which is also not on that list. So, you know, let's just say I got another 75 cents into that. You'd take off, you know, I mean, you're down to $4, man. that's the best case scenario. That's if I sell it for full price. I'm basically, well, no, if I sell it for full price, it'd be what, around $9. Right? Because I didn't give the 20% discount. But if I have to give the 20% discount, it's $4. I don't know. I just don't know where this is going. Reselling, I don't think is ever going to die. Not in our culture. There's just too much stuff, you know, and there's too much cool stuff. So people are always going to be in the market for it. The other thing I do think, I'll end on this note, I think the other thing it is going to affect, and it has affected, talked to a lot of grumpy would-be sellers. And it used to be they still priced things like it was 1998. Well, now they're pricing things like it's still 2021. A lot of trading cards, which I don't deal with sports cards. I haven't for 30 years, basically. I'm not getting back into that. Anyway, you know, I still get Beanie Baby calls and texts. I still get Precious Moments. I still get glassware. Still getting a lot of NASCAR collectibles. And, you know, everything kind of had a bump. Comics, action figures, especially loose figures. You know, it'd be really interesting if I could do a video on the stuff I didn't buy. And that's hard to do. You know, I mean, I don't know how you would do that. I don't think too many potential sellers would appreciate that or work with you on that. But the price has come down, the costs have gone up, and the people trying to sell their collections are really, really in a weak position. You know, sometimes you take a flyer as a dealer and think, well, I need new inventory. You know, am I going to make a ton? No, I'm not. But, you know, in 2020, 2021, even 2022, you know, the market was pretty robust. You could usually not get stuck with it, even if you didn't make a ton of money. You could usually get your money back, which is not the way to run a business. But I know a lot of people in the reselling and collectibles business that I'm in do that. It doesn't add up. You know, at the end of the month, you're not coming out anywhere near ahead. But that's done, man. I mean, If it was $100 piece 2 years ago, it's probably a $60 to $80 piece, and it's not trending upwards. It's trending by the end of this year towards a $50 piece, 50 to 60 maybe. And then, something else dumb blows up, the stock market blows up, the world tension situation blows up, shipping cost, which they're going up again this year. They've already had a little bit of an increase, but I can guarantee you by July, August, we're all going to get the notice across the board, no matter who you ship with. That's going to go back up. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You always read about stuff like this in the history books, and that's a lot more fun than living through it sometimes. But here we are. That's what we're doing. We'll keep it rolling. I'm going to keep listing. I'm still looking to buy collections. The only thing that's really changed on my end is one. I'm old. You see the gray hair. Retirement is probably a little closer than the horizon right now. And that's okay. I'm still going to be around for a few years, 5, 6 maybe would be my best guess on it, depending, if I win the lottery or not. I don't play the lottery, but, hey, whatever. It's just not worth it. I'm in that really good position. I've been doing it long enough, and I guess I must have done something right. My wife has a great job. I don't have to sit here every day and grind it out for $4 or $5 profit. I don't have to do that anymore. If you are not in that position yet, I wish I had an answer for you. But your best bet is, you don't have a lot of options. You either stop buying and liquidate your stuff and get as much money as you can up front if you think the economy is going to tank. That's where you're seeing Warren Buffett and these guys moving their these billions of dollars out of their stocks into different forms of investment, less risky, safer. T-bills, foreign exchanges. In the case of Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, they're bailing on the U.S. economy. And they're just getting what they can now, taking their profits, which are pretty substantial. And they're going to ride it out. They're going to weather the storm wherever it brings, hunker down someplace else. And I don't know. The last thing you want to do, this is my last 2 cents worth, so again, take it for whatever you want. You're just going to have to decide if you're all in or you're all out. And the ones that are in between, that aren't all in or aren't all out and have liquidated, taken their money out, they're the ones that are going to get hurt the worst, because that's the worst position to be in. It's really kind of a no-win position when you're trying to be super precise and pick and choose and say, well, I'm only going to buy the best stuff at this discount, or I'm not going to buy anything. It's going to be very frustrating. I think it's going to be very, very hard, especially if shows soften up this year. It could just be a hunker down year for a lot of us, and that's kind of the approach I'm taking a little bit. But I've been doing that for a while. I have not been buying just mounds of stuff. I've been a lot pickier since probably just about pre-COVID, 2017 or so. I kind of moved into I guess a pickier reseller as far as the quality of goods and things like that. I'd rather buy a higher quality and pay a higher price than just have a bunch of common stuff. Because this economy, just like that magazine example, is not really friendly or conducive to making money on that type of a flip or resale. So that's it. That's all I've got for now. I've got some other podcasts coming up. I've got another comic book video coming up, and I got the show coming up. QC Toy Show. Quad Cities Toy Show, East Moline, Illinois. That's March, I think it's 3 and 4. It's this coming weekend anyway. So if you happen to be there, I've never been there. I've never done an Illinois show. But hey, stop by and say hi and check it out. I'd love to meet with you and talk with you and see you. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.